To the news now, and contractors working on the Pokuase-Nsawam Road project say a key section of the road will be completed and opened to the public in the next 4 days. The stretch from Ofanko to White House, which is currently undergoing asphalting, has contributed to congestion for some motorists over the past week. But speaking to your news, lead project manager at Maripoma Enterprise Limited, Engineer Abdullahi Mahama, said the team is fast-tracking works to ease traffic pressure on the corridor. He also provided an update on the overall level of completion of the project.
Last week, the president was here on Wednesday. That was the 3rd of December. And that time we had done 77% complete. Okay. Right, so from last week Wednesday, we are just doing some work. We are here to quantify the percentage. But as of last week Wednesday, the percentage of work was 77%. Yes, so we are on course.
And are we still working with a timeline to communicate it to government? Are you confident about, finishing works within the timeline?
Yeah, hopefully. We're working with the rate at which we are working. If without any force majeure, like the act of God, excessive weather patterns that may hinder some few progresses, we are working towards the completion of it. And this stretch that we are doing, in the next 4 days, we should be able to finish the asphalt works. And then before we open the traffic, we'll have to put on the line marking so that we can dedicate each carriageway with their driveways. So we don't want to block again, come and finish a certain part and then go back and block again. We don't want to do that. We're approaching Christmas as well, so we have to be very careful about the traffic that we get in this area.
The government says residents of Nema will soon see significant improvement in their road network as the community becomes one of the early beneficiaries of the national plan to strengthen inner city infrastructure. Deputy Roads and Highways Minister Alhassan Souyini, who visited the area as part of a monitoring tour, explained that the ongoing works form a crucial link between major national corridors and the local routes that serve everyday commuters. The following report captures more.
According to the Deputy Roads and Highways Minister Alhassan Souyini, the contractors working on the Nema project is expected to deliver the completed network within the next 6 to 7 months. The project includes resurfacing key inner roads, improving intersections, and fixing critical drainage points that have contributed to persistent flooding during the heavy rains.
Then you also focus on the central corridor, which is the existing, dual carriageway from Accra to Kumasi and then to Tamale, and then the new expressway that will be done. All of these roads will be more useful and beneficial if we link them to our community roads. That is why you will notice in the budget there's a provision to attend to about 166 constituencies, improve the road network and improve the drainage system. And so Ayawaso constituency, where Yusuf Jaja is a member of parliament, is one of the beneficiary constituencies for which we are here to cut salt for the beginning of some of the improvements that are required in this community. In the next 6 to 7 months, we expect the contractor to hand over the project.
MP for Ayawaso North, Yusufu Isaka Jaja, was optimistic the project will be completed on time.
I wouldn't talk much, he said it all. Ayawaso North is grateful and will continue to be grateful. And we're also calling on our constituents, opinion leaders, chiefs, to help the contractor for him to have a smooth construction. So we are really grateful to the Almighty Allah.
MC for Ayawaso North, Haruna Mohammed, added that the current drainage and inner road works promise real relief for communities that have long struggled with overflow from the storm drains.
The drainage system has been very bad for a very long time. Walking down there, getting closer to the storm drain, you could see anytime there is heavy downpour, the place gets to flood. But with the inception of this construction, I think we are going to see an end to that kind of flood issues.
Residents are also expected to see enhanced drainage channels alongside the new roads, a measure the ministry says is necessary to protect the investment and reduce the damage caused by erosion and surface runoff.
Now, to other stories, Kumasi remains sharply split over the country's direction under the new NDC administration, exactly 1 year after the general election. While some hail ongoing road project and a stabilized city as proof that change is taking root, others insist the promised relief is yet to reflect in their pockets. Clinton Yeboah of Love FM reports.
Only a year ago, Ghanaians went to the polls to cast their ballot in the presidential and parliamentary elections. This particular elections brought a new government from the NPP government to the current NDC administration. The conversation we are having today on the streets of Kumasi is to assess government's performance and citizens' reflection on the outcome of this election.
I'm very glad I voted for a change in government because so far there are changes we are seeing. There are a lot of developmental projects that are going on. Ghanaians are being positive about the new government, and personally I would say that I have seen things that I am excited about, so it's good.
Do you think our democracy is in good hands?
Oh yes, democracy is in a very good hands.
Oh, Konasa, and yes, democracy, yes, I know, yes, I know,
This is not what they promised us. We sell and trade with no sales.
I say, or no, a dollar nesania man, a coffin say that, but and reflect or yen nipana ya to mine and reflect or so anything.
We haven't seen a government that reduces prices of goods and services. They say they have, but we don't see the reflection in our pockets. I've been buying things the same prices. Drivers have only seen reduction in fuel prices, but goods are still hiked. These assessments from citizens on government's performance a year on places a renewed responsibility on government on the work yet to be done. For Joy News, my name is Clinton Yeboah, Kumasi.
Community health nurses in the Bono-Hafo region are demanding a forensic audit into what they believe is the disappearance of more than 13.5 million cedis in member dues. They accuse the former national president of controlling the association's funds alone for 13 years in breach of its constitution. Bono East regional correspondent Anna Sabit has more.
Is brewing within the Community Health Nurses Association of Ghana, CONAG. In a dramatic and heavily attended press conference in Techiman today, the Bono-Hafo Regional Council blew the whistle on what they described as years of financial abuse under the former national leadership. These angry community health nurses gathered not to discuss healthcare, but to demand answers from their own former leaders. The regional chairman, Osei Alasan, dropped what can only be described as a financial bombshell.
From 2012 to 2023, with an additional 2 years extension in office, the former national president presided over the association for a total period of 13 years. Throughout this period, expenditures were reportedly made without any approved national budget, in direct violation of the association constitution.
The regional council alleges that over 2 million Ghana cedis disappeared in just over 2 years. They project that over 13 million Ghana cedis may be unaccounted for during the 13-year tenure of the former national president, Madam Esther Frimpoma Banfo.
Bank statement available to the regional council shows suspicious monthly withdrawals from 2nd February 2023 to 30th April 2025. A total amount of 2,250,000 Ghana cedis was withdrawn. If such an amount could be expended within 2 years, it raises grave concern that an estimated 13,554,000 Ghana cedis may be spent during her 13 years in office.
They say she operated the association's account alone, ignored directives to halt expensive vehicle repairs, and left the new administration with debt.
During her tenure, rent for the National Secretariat remained unpaid for over 1 year. Senate contribution of staff were not paid for several months.
They have presented a list of non-negotiable demands to the National Council.
We are so worried
those of us down here are not really getting any benefit at all from the association.
We need the National Council, led by the current National President, Mr. Francis Butwi, to take steps in addressing these issues as soon as possible.
For now, the ball is in the court of the current national executives to act on these demands. Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Techiman.
Ghana has once again been reminded of the enormous potential agriculture holds in tackling unemployment, as experts call for deliberate investment in agribusiness pathways for the youth. Speaking at the maiden SHS Agribusiness Challenge organized by the School of Agriculture at the University of Cape Coast, head of the Crop Science Department, Professor Michael Osei-Edu, described agriculture as a strategic sector brimming with viable career opportunities. He noted that the growing enthusiasm among young people is a clear sign that the country's agricultural future can be transformed if the right support systems are put in place.
The maiden edition of the SHS Agribusiness Challenge, initiated by the UCC School of Agriculture, was on the theme Sustaining Ghana's Agriculture 50 Years and Beyond. Sharing details about the initiative, the head of the Animal Science Department and chairman of the Planning Committee, Professor Julius Hagan, noted a bold vision for the expansion of the competition.
Yeah, for the Maiden Agri-Brain Challenge, we have 6 schools, St. Augustine's College, St. Manson Senior High, Jukwa Senior High, University Practice Senior High, Infantiman Girls Senior High, and Agri Memorial Zion Senior High. But going forward, next year, we are going to expand the scope and include a lot of schools. We want to even surpass what the NSMKO is doing, so that in the next few years to come, you have one of the biggest educational shows on TV and on other platforms. What makes our celebration unique, this is not a one-off thing. We are going to have a year-long celebration. So we are starting this year, we will end next year, July 2026. As part of the celebration, we also want to mobilize all our alumni. So we will go to Kumasi, we will go to Accra, Takoradi, Sunyani and Tamale to meet all our alumni, mobilize them so that they can come back and contribute their quota to the development of the school. Professor Michael Osei-Edu, head of the Department of Crop Science and one of the quiz masters, commending the performance of the participants, remarked that agriculture is a tool to tackle unemployment in the country.
Most impressed about the ability to apply the knowledge, and that gives me hope that what we are teaching in the classroom is not what we say in the Ghanaian parlance, that chew, pour, pass and forget. But actually, they are learning the principles that they actually would be able to apply on the field. So I was impressed, and I think that we're doing something good, and that gives me hope for the future of agriculture in Ghana. If I want to borrow the words of the former UN Secretary General and the late Kofi Annan, he said agriculture has become sexy. That it's so attractive to the youth. We are using modern technology in teaching. Agriculture is done with modern technology. We have moved from smallholder to commercial production. So we encourage the youth. Now that unemployment is on the rise, I think agriculture is one of the ways that we can grab to reduce the unemployment rate in the country. Speaking on behalf of the winning team from University Practice Senior High School, Nanaya Ochre stressed that the agric sector offers immense opportunities. So my advice to my friends who are offering agric is that agric is an easy course if you put your mind to it. And also, you have to be optimistic about what you can get from agric. You can get job opportunities and many other benefits which will help you in your life. The challenge forms part of activities for the School of Agric's 50th anniversary celebrations. From Cape Coast, Abigail Lisol Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Let's do some business news now. And economist Professor Patrick Esuming has welcomed the Bank of Ghana's decision to scale back its liquidity mopping program in 2026, provided exchange rate pressures and inflation remain under control. According to him, the success of this policy shift hinges on the BOG's ability to maintain inflation within its target range and stabilize the Ghanaian cedi. He noted that if implemented effectively, the move could boost investor confidence, stimulate economic activity, and support the country's development agenda. He spoke to Joy Business.
It appears that the central bank has had a fair amount of control over the currency, the exchange rate. primarily supported by the fact that the reserve position has been very, very strong. You know, the inflation, the exchange rates, the currency depreciation contributes substantially to the inflation. So once you have that a little under control, we are not seeing the kind of wild swings that we used to see in the past. I think that helps. And I think if you look at from the last MPC meeting, you look at where the inflation has gone to, and even since then, we've seen that we've come even further below, further lower than where we used to be. And it's not just that, you also see inflation expectations are trending down. So I think at the moment, there's a feeling that perhaps the concern on inflation is sufficiently subsided. But I think we should also take note that conditions could change. But I think the right signal that was sent is that we are not just going to do this gung-ho. If we see that there's some instability on the currency front, then they will hold on to it. So I think it's sending the right signal that at the moment things are trending towards a little bit more control over the inflation. So it's now time to do a little bit more easing to support businesses in the country.
From that, the Ghana Association of Banks is urging policymakers to sustain the recent improvements in macroeconomic stability, emphasizing that consistency is crucial for long-term planning. According to the association, maintaining this stability will enhance the sector's ability to provide loans to businesses. CEO of the Ghana Association of Banks, John Ewua, made these remarks during the DBG-UGBS Development Finance Dialogue Series.
It's not a personal loan, and it's a business loan, and it can be very big. You give the offer letter to the customer, the first place, where should I sign? Is looking for the dotted line. If you give that same offer letter to a Chinese business person, every sentence in that offer letter you will explain. Every sentence. Because he is taking the loan with the intention to pay. But my friends, they sign on that dotted line without reading a dime. And when the thing goes bad, they say, we didn't know there was this condition in the loan. So we need to really work on financial literacy, credit integrity, and the credit culture, so that when we approach a bank can take our word for what you want us to believe. Of course, you talk about poor records keeping, intermittent policy and regulatory shifts. Policy shifts should never affect the business.
And that's it for the business updates. And also, that's how we conclude the AM News for you. Up next is sports.